Base idea with this build is you're looking for disruption, right? You have a combo that's built into this build. You look for javelin on a target, you combo that into vault kick, which is basically I stagger somebody, then I stun somebody, and because they're stunned, then I can stagger them again with sweep. And after they come out of sweep, then usually you're going to your SNS and you're looking to chase them, but they're usually dead by the time you go into sweep. And in order to make this combo work correctly, you need to be running a Scorpion Sting. There is an argument to run Lost Stopwatch with this build to just be more annoying in general, because that means that your stuns last 1 second longer, right? So you can just keep someone stunned with Vault Kick. Your team does more damage to them. You wait like it's another second, and then you go for your sweep, and the person's just like has more time to die. So that's the idea behind Lost Stopwatch, not something that people typically play. Naomi's still playing? Yeah, Naomi's still playing, but on the EU. So that's the base kind of cook, I guess, there. In terms of other perks that you're looking for with this build, you're looking for heavy every single time. Not much debate there. Hasted Vigor, I think, helps this build a lot because it helps you gap close. Leeching Cyclone does not help this build at all anymore. At one point I had Cyclone on this perk, so I need to figure out what to redo with that. Void Dark Plate kind of makes sense. Fortify Perforate doesn't help this build at all. So let's replace that with Slash Conditioning. How much Slash Conditioning do I have? I have 3 already. I almost want to go Strike and then do Thrust. But I think it's probably better just to abuse the heck out of Slash. So we have like 4 Slash there. I feel like I make this Slash Conditioning. So now we have 5, right? And I think we go down to maybe 1 Thrust Conditioning. And then we have our 3 Slash still. So or 4 Slash. So we're like really tanky to basically everything. We have our Thrust Protection on Last Stopwatch that helps us with that. If you're able to pick up these legs, they have keenly empowered, very, very nice. If you can't get them, you can go any other defensive perk, it's probably fine. I went for Shirking Fort with this build because the Fortify stuff felt pretty good, or seemed like it would feel pretty good for this kind of build. I feel like I'd rather run Elemental Aversion, to be honest, because I feel like the main thing this build dies to is Fire Staff, and that just helps a little bit more. So I'm going to change that. You can't run Elemental Aversion and Hasted Vigor, actually, which is a pretty big downside. So maybe we go, like, Flame Conditioning. Like, I'm kind of cooking with the Flame Conditioning, but I feel like it's not terrible. So there's, like, a few random conditionings in here. But this will help a little bit more towards the elemental builds that this build normally ties to. The other option, which is probably better, is we just go Shirking Heals. Yeah, we should just be going Shirking Heals, to be honest. So that should be Shirking Heals. This should probably be Shirking Heals. I forgot that Shirking Heals is really good on this build. Thorny Reflection shouldn't be on this build because we're not going for the elemental ban. So we go Shirking Heals. Shirking here. Shirking here. And then honestly, I feel like the Lost Stopwatch is too much of a cook. Someone recommended that to me. It sounded really nice, but I feel like Ankh is just better still. Because you already have an infinite combo, you don't really need to go for the CC duration stuff. Like, I'd rather just go for something like this. And how much slash conditioning do we end up with? We ended up with 2. You probably want 3, so I'd probably cut the keenly empowered because this isn't really a damage-oriented build, but it does help the damage of this build so much, I don't really want to cut it. Can I cut one more Shirking Heal? Can I cut one Shirking Heal for slash conditioning? I feel like that's slightly better. I just don't want to cut the keenly empowered because this build just struggles with the DPS output, and this will help the spear a lot because spear doesn't have a lot of empower inherently, which is the other reason why we're running Deckhand. Gem split wise should be a standard 515. And then we have thrust protection, which gets our thrust up to 20. We have 3 slash, which gets our slash up to 20. We don't really care about strike because we don't see strike with this build because we're mostly off point. In terms of Gorgon's ring, what would we want? Definitely hardy, definitely purifying heart. I feel like slash damage is not the play. I think you want thrust usually, but even then, like I don't think it's that good on this build because it's not really a super damage oriented build. Empowering Cleave never really works though. Healing Breeze is a really good tech actually. I'd probably rather go Healing Breeze. So Healing Breeze works off your shirking heals now. They kind of reverted that. So I feel like that's not a bad tech with this build. And so Party, Purifying Heart, Healing Breeze, you have the Onk, which also boosts those effects. The last slash conditioning could also be a shirking heal. Very, very tanky. And should have good enough mobility with those defensives. Isn't Healing Breeze better with shirking heals? Yeah, it's basically better. Because it's always going to apply to yourself and not apply to allies, and it's usually a little bit better to use it towards yourself than allies. I don't think it's like buffed in any way though. Wait, reduced by 35% if applied to self. I mean, it's still going to be good. I don't know how much it's healing, but I know it's going to be good because people run this. Deckhand makes a lot of sense for this kind of build because you're lacking in Empower pretty significantly. This will help bump that up a lot. Anything else worth talking about? Oh yeah, sword, I have a complete utility sword, so Trenchant Rend, Plague Strikes, and Empowering Leaping Strike. So this is a... If I do a half heavy on somebody, they're basically dead. Like, they got rended, they got hella diseased. If Scorpion Sting, I have Plague Crits, so you have the Plague package, so this will put someone at Plague Cap. So it's like really, really good for kidnapping and just preventing somebody from playing the game. On Spear, I have Onyx because I figure it's a little bit more of a opener kind of style weapon. And then Sword, I have Emerald because I figure it's a little bit more of a, hey, I've already hit this person and I can finish him off. I think that Malachite's also really good on Sword. Like that'd be another good option. On Tower Shield, I went Fortified Shield Rush, Strike Shield Ward, so we got the Global Resistance package, and then we got Enchanted Ward, because that will work when you have your offhand out as well. I think the other good perk here too would be Flame Conditioning instead of Enchanted Ward. I think that's like very, very arguable as well. Heart Rune still have Vines. Now there is an interesting thing where Purifying Heart won't cleanse the exhaust on this Vines, but I feel like it cleanses enough debuffs to where it's still useful. Also, am I dreaming, or did Heavy used to show that CC had longer duration when Eclipse load was heavy? It did have that, and then they removed that because people got annoyed. Yeah, no, that was the thing. Sword and Shield tree is basically just heavy attack focus, a little bit of damage oriented perks. People go defensive formation with this right now. Concussive Bash, I did go for the extra stun duration because it's not reduced by freedom, so it really annoys healers a lot. You could go like High Grip or Sturdy Grip. I think that would be decent as well. Dude, why am I missing one with the shield? I can't miss one with a shield. That's way too good of a perk to pass up on. Okay, I have to change this a little bit. Okay, I might go to that. Yeah, because one with the shield is whenever you're hit or you're blocking hit, that'll extend the duration of all buffs on self by 5%. That should work with conditioning. Do you have enough buffs on you, though? I guess you don't have a lot of buffs on you. You have this buff. You have Empower. You have Fortified Shield. No, you have Fortified Shield Rush. Like, that's already good enough to warrant running. Because you go for Fortified Shield Rush with that, it just lasts way longer. Okay, I have a cook actually for this now that half the community won't like. Go Sturdy Fortification. If you have Sturdy Fortification proc, it will last for 9 seconds because of this perk. Just proc it first, just block some attacks, pull some aggro, block some attacks, and just run in. It will not wear off and you'll feel way tankier, and that's about the equivalent of running like 5 shirking a fortification. Like, that's a lot of value of a perk. You have to change your playstyle a bit, but it's like really, really good. So I'm changing my idea a little bit for this build, but it's similar in concept. I feel like there's not too much else to talk about. It's just like you go for CC oriented stuff. Elemental version's nice. You could kind of do other things for that slot as well. And Void Dark Plate's just really good with this build because it makes you a lot tankier. So like you have 3.7k armor, which is just crazy, and I don't think it's even including while you have Sword and Shield out. It should go even higher then. So I think that's what I'd say for like a utility SNS spear kind of build what I'd run. If you wanted to be more DPS oriented, you'd basically just go a different spear. The sword honestly could be pretty similar, but you want like a light tower shield. I tend to find that heavy SNS spears almost outclassed by like medium SNS or medium spear rapier or medium spear hatchet nowadays, but you can run it. It is something that's still run. It's just your spears like I think plague crits, uh, pen backstab, and then the new other penetrating perk, pen the empowered. So it's just like high pierce basically.